So we are going to go ahead and get started from here. Like I said, I don't have any music for us today. If you've got something that you want to use in the background, that's awesome. We are going to utilize a few separate tools, but we're going to start off with just an easy warm-up first. So I'm going to back up a bit so that we can see. So we're going to start very simply from here. Just roll those shoulders back, nice and big. Step back just another bit here. We're going to roll them forward. So kind of like we do at the end of class, we're going to start with that today. We're going to take those thumbs, we're going to turn the thumbs back, or turn them from here. Just warming up into that shoulder. And we're going to make big circles around. Very big circles through. Nice stretch for the front of the body as well. Then let's reverse those. We're coming back the other direction. So the reason I'm not using music so much today is number one, so you can hear me, and number two, because I really want us to focus on the muscles that we're working. We're going to work through some pieces for posture today. We'll work from leg strength, some upper body strength, and then we're going to go to the floor. And I know I say that every day, but I actually should have time to do that today. Let's go just a couple more here. Good. And then we're just going to march the feet out here. Nice and easy from there, lifting those knees up. Take that at your own pace. Get those arms kind of swinging with it just a little bit here. We want to get a little bit of juice in those joints. And then from here, we're just going to step it out a little wider. And we're going to add some rotation with it. So we'll come over and over, over, cross. Again, take that at your own pace. We're just working a little bit into that spine, hips a bit, of course the tummy. Let's just go 4 more here. 4, 3, 2, coming back from here, and we're just gonna rotate around. Let those arms sweep. You can bring that foot up and actually rotate around a little bit there so that we don't stay locked into the ground so much. The next piece that we're going to do, you can do seated, you can do it standing, doesn't matter a bit. So if you've got the chair and you want to sit on the chair, you want it for balance, you can most certainly use that. We're going to bring the leg up and we're going to extend and bend. Extend and bend. That's all we're doing here is just working into the knee a bit, holding it nice and easy. Let's go just a couple more here. And then we're going to come to the other side, same thing. Up from here, so again, standing tall, and then we're going to bring that down. We're going to do just a little bit of lateral movement coming side to side, nothing big and major at all, just enough to get a feel out into the side of the hips, because we have a segment that we're going to use that's going to work the tummy and definitely work the backside and the outside of the hips. And it's more work than it looks like. I watch somebody else do it and I'm like, eh. When I do it, it's a whole different story. We go 4, 3, 2, bring that back in here. So if you can, we're just going to bring this up, roll that ankle around. Coming back the other direction, same thing, roll that ankle through, flex and point. And then we're going to bring that down. We're coming back up from here. We're going to roll that ankle around. We're going to reverse that. Coming back to center from there. And relax that down. Well, let's take a big breath up. And coming from here. We're going to sit back. So we're going to come down from here and we're going to reach out. It's like we do in yoga, right? So we're sitting as we come down. So when we come back from here, we do want to keep the chest lifted. So when I come down in this position, I'm not coming forward. That's more of your deadlift. We're actually sitting the booty down. So the rump should go down on this part. Good. Hands in center. And let's go 2 more here. Okay. Now, if you have a band, You can use the band, it's a little bit easier. A towel will work as well, it's just not gonna have the same stretch with it. Dumbbells are also just fine. We're gonna take that from here, and we're gonna start. We're working one side at a time to begin with. So what this side is gonna do is it's gonna hold the band, bringing that shoulder back and down, and you're gonna hold that arm in place so that it stays nice and close to your body, and you're gonna bring that arm down and engage the tricep so that you can actually hold that band firmly in place. What we're gonna start off with here first is just a reach up, and then we're gonna come on a diagonal. So we come out from here, then we're gonna come out to the side, so reaching from here. So we'll again take that up, straight up in the front. We're coming on the diagonal, and then we're gonna come out to the side. So again, you'll notice this arm is staying right nice and close to my body. I'm not letting it get away from me. And just a nice strong piece from there. Now, if this is a bit much, you can always just go with no weight at all. Sometimes it just depends on how your shoulder's working. And when we come back down, we wanna make sure that we keep some tension on the band. So we don't wanna have it so that it's slack. What we're trying to do is keep that constant tension without it being too much, right? Let's go 4 more here. And we are also staying strong through the midsection. Meaning that we definitely engage the abs, tighten up the booty so that we can stand nice and strong. And we have 2 to go on this side. Up. I'm hoping that you're feeling this because I'd hate to feel like I was all alone here. One more time, coming up, on a diagonal, and out from here. Okay, so you should feel that through that entire back of the shoulder. You're probably feeling that on the underside of your arm here as well, in the tricep, maybe somewhat in that shoulder as well as you lock that in and pack it down, which is exactly what we're looking for. So we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So this arm is going to grab it and you're gonna bring that back, roll that shoulder back, lock it into place and bring that hand down. This arm is gonna start off in the front. They're gonna come on the diagonal and out to the side. Now, if you feel like you've got too much tension, create a little bit more slack in it before you start. Give yourself a little bit more room. If it doesn't feel like enough, bring that band a little closer together with your hands so that it makes it tighter. Come off to the side here. If you have handles, I would tuck your hand through it just because that makes it much easier to not smack yourself in the face with it constantly. Which is something I wouldn't know anything about. Come up here, out. Lift, nice and strong through there. On the diagonal from here, and coming out again. We have 4 more, if I am counting correctly. And 3. So as we come from here, we're not looking to bring that arm back behind us. Parallel with the body's good. Nice and strong there. You ought to be able to feel the shoulder. It's a little pre-fatigued just from holding it down, right? Mine is anyway. Good. Nice long reach. And again, if I'm counting right, we have 1 more time. Right up here. You're here. And out to the side. Beautiful. Go ahead and bring that back in from here. So we're going to take the band back behind us. And again, if you've got a dumbbell, you can always just take this. It's just going to have a little different feel to it. But if you've got the band back behind you, we are going to push this forward. So it's wrapped back around us, but we're going to push out on the diagonal from here. So we're going to press it straight out. Then we're going to come to the front. Then we're going to push out to the sides here at about a 45, and then again to the front. Coming out here, and push, squeeze, and press. I promise we'll stretch all this out. So if you're feeling that up through your traps, up into your neck, and you're concerned about that being tight later on, we will stretch that out. We're looking to build that strength so that we don't have all of the tension up there all the time. And helping with the posture here. Let's go 4 more of these. Again, nice and strong. And pushing away. Sometimes the bands are a little bit easier to do with the, I shouldn't say easier so much because you have that tension, a little easier on the wrists and the arms, the hands. Let's go one more time. Good, very good. All right, so we're gonna move, again, this time is gonna be a pull. So we're gonna take this as a pull down. So when we start, the band will end up in front of us, but we're gonna start with the hands up overhead. So again, if you've got handles, I would tuck your hands up through on the inside of them so that you don't have those hanging down and smacking you. From here, just making sure that you've got some tension from the top. We're gonna pull these arms back and down, and that band is just gonna come out in front of us. So the arms stay nice and long as we come through this range of motion. Slight bend in the elbows from there, and think of actually drawing and pulling this down with your back, or lead with your elbows. Might be an easier way to kind of think about that. But using your back to bring this back together. Pull those shoulders back and down and squeeze. Nice strong through the belly. Sitting strong with the legs. Okay, and we have 3 more. Here's 2. And our last one. Okay, so we're gonna put these down for a moment. Let's just skip it off to the side and get that out of our way. So we're gonna, again, work into the legs just a little bit from here and let that upper body relax. So from this position, we're just gonna go into a little bit deeper squat. So we'll start off from here, just sitting down and coming up and sit. And we'll stand. Position from there. Good. And again, you can sit on the chair. If you would rather sit on the chair, you most certainly can do that. I think that's almost harder sometimes, because then I actually have to hoist my rope up off of it. Let's go 4 more. And 3, 2, and our last one. Now we're gonna come into a slight, I'm gonna grab my mat because I'm barefoot. Coming into a lunge position from here. So again, it doesn't need to be a humongous lunge by any means at all. But what I do want you to think of here is where your knee is at. So we're just gonna step forward. And as we come from here, we wanna kind of keep an eye on where this knee is going. So if it's rolling in or out, we wanna try really hard to prevent it from doing that. We also would like to square off the hips as much as we can. And we're just gonna drive down and up. So if your knee is shooting way, way forward and you're feeling pain behind the kneecap, just take your foot forward just a little bit more. Don't go quite so deep. Good. And we're gonna go one more time here. So not a whole bunch of them. We have another piece that we're gonna do a little bit later that's gonna work more into the legs. So we're gonna take the other side from here and come into the same thing. Again, being aware of where that leg is going as you're doing the exercise. Stand up nice and tall, brace those abs, and we're just gonna come down and up. So sinking that back knee, think of driving that back knee towards the ground without losing your balance like I'm trying to do. Good. Let's go 4 and 3. Just 2. Good. And we'll step that in. So just that push off to step in sometimes will give you a pretty good chunk to go with that. The next part that we are going to, well, no, we're going to come to something later. Grab your band again. And we're going to go back to that squat one more time. What we're going to do with that squat as we come down, we're going to use that band, we're going to pull it to the front, and then we are going to come across. So we're going to pull it down and then we're going to pull it back. So again, kind of finding the position here. You can also double your band over. So if you're like, yeah, I'm really not getting a lot out of that, you can always double the band up, and that's going to give you twice the resistance. Okay, so we're going to start hands up, sitting back down from here. As we come down, we are going to pull down, then we're going to pull back. Let's pull down, and then pull back. Coming down, and back, and down, and back. We have 4 more here. I screwed that one up. Head back. Come from the top. Here's 3. Apparently I can't count and pull at the same time. And 2. And let's go one more time here. Right through there. Beautiful. Okay, so then we're going to go back to that shoulder piece where we were coming back, and we're going to do the, actually let's do the chest first. So let's give the back of the shoulders a break. We'll come back to the chest, and then we will go back to that. So from here, as we're in position here, what we are going to do is lift the leg. We'll sit that back and down. We're going to lift the leg. Now again, if that's too much, keep them both down. You can also just lift your heel and lift your heel so you're kind of posted as you're in that position. Or you can just not lift it so high. Just making sure that we've got good balance. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna push and we're gonna push. So we're gonna come out to the diagonal, and then we're gonna push to the center. So we're gonna come up from here, push forward. Set the foot down. Come up from here, push it forward. Now again, that may simply be lifting the heel, and if that's enough to challenge your balance today, take that. Every day is different. Some days are really good, and some days you're just like, my gosh, I can't even walk. Coming out from here, at least that's what it feels like. Coming here and here. We're gonna do 4 more total. Here's 3. We're coming for 2. And 1 last time here. Okay, so that should warm the chest up just a little bit as we come through there. Depending upon how thick your band is, it might give you more than what you're actually looking for here. So we're gonna step back. In this position, we're gonna work more into the core because we're working on the balance. We're not gonna come down and up into the lunge as we're doing the arms. We'll save that for the separate piece on it. What we are gonna do is we're gonna take this arm back here. We're gonna lock that down to the side. So extending that arm out, just your band as you need. We're coming up on the diagonal and out to the side. Good, so we bring it back to stop each time in the front and coming out to the side. So nice pause on each one of those. Good resistance all the way through. All the way through here. Apparently that's all I can think about. And we're gonna do 4 more on this side. So straight up, diagonal. So all of these are working the back of the shoulder, working your rotator cuff as well. But we're doing it, might feel a little harder because we're working it so much, but just a little bit different angle with each one of them. And if I'm counting correctly, we have 2 left. Get good strong pull. So these are also great for helping to keep our posture and preventing that rounded shoulder, or to kind of alleviate that a little bit. And center, good. So that arm can just relax. We're gonna come from here, hanging onto that band. We're gonna step that foot back, and we're gonna come into that lunge again. So from here, we're just gonna come down and lift it up and down and lift. Keep going. Nice. Again, 4 more. I can take this at your own pace. Wherever you want it to go, just be aware where your legs are. If you're pivoting and turning with that, we want to keep the shoulders and the hips facing the front. Just 2. And our last one. Step that back together. So coming back on the other side, again, stepping that foot forward. We're going to get a hold of that band again. And this time, this arm is going to come back to the side, roll that shoulder back, lock that arm into place. So this side is going to begin in the front. So we're coming up to the diagonal and out to the side. We're going to do 8 rounds of this. So try and help me count, because clearly I can't. And I even have my shoes on. Good, 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 good. Move through. All the way up. So trying to get that full range of motion, that slight pause so we've got that tension, and squeeze these up. The nice thing about the band is that it doesn't really let us use a lot of momentum. Also keeping that, I keep opening that up, and I need to keep it tight and keep that tricep working. And out. Up. Diagonal. And out. So we have 3 left. Good. 2 more here. So just get a nice feel for that. Let's do our last one. Coming up here. And out. Beautiful. So we'll let that go. Relax that, roll those shoulders back, just kind of shake them out a little bit as we come from here. We're gonna step 1 foot back from here, and we're gonna go ahead and come down and up again. So we'll just come down. Again, being aware of where that knee's at, making sure that we're staying square and that we're not rotating through, but everything is facing the front here. We have 3 more. And 2. Here's our last one. Coming back to center from there. Good. So we can put the band down for right now. We're going to grab the chair. So as we come with the chair, make it exciting here. So mine may slip and slide, so I'm going to put it on top of the mat. And you can do this either direction. So if you find it difficult to be in a position like this, you can always come around on the back side, have a little bit more support and a little bit less of a lean in it, but we still want to get into those hips. So what we're going to work on here is just working back into the glutes. And we're going to get onto the outside of the hip as well as we do this. So when we bring our hands down, we want to be square onto the chair so that we are squared off with the chair. And our hands are right underneath our shoulders as we come in from here. What we're going to do is take 1 step forward so that we've got one leg fairly close to the chair. We're going to extend the other one out from this beginning here. We're going to drive the knee up towards the chair without coming up. So our goal is to stay low, bringing that knee in. Now, if that's a bit much, slide the foot in or just touch the toe coming in from here. But we are staying low in that standing leg. We're also trying very hard not to shift all the way over to one side, but to stay square on that chair as much as we can. So keeping the eyes forward. We have 2 more. And there. Good. We're going to stand that back up and we're going to walk back just a little bit. So again, from here, we're trying to keep the legs underneath the hips, long length through the back, so pushing that tailbone back and brace the stomach really nice and strong. So as we come from here, we're going to take this foot and we're going to push the heel back. And it does not have to be really high. So again, just kind of making sure that we are extending, pushing through the heel, trying not to turn out. We're doing 10 of each of these if you're counting. And my nose is going to start running now because I'm hanging over. Let's go 2 more. From there. Good. Then we're going to let that foot come down again. This time we're going to extend back long. Length through here. Nice long length. Good. Again, keeping the abs braced really strong. That's going to protect that back. Working into that hip. And breathe with it. Let's go 2 more. Okay, so from here, hold that out. We're going to drop the leg onto the diagonal and back to center. So we come over to the diagonal. Break any time that you feel that you need. You should really be feeling this on the standing leg. It's right in the rear end. Ideally. And if you don't get all of the reps, doesn't matter. Each time you do it, you'll get stronger. And we have 1 more. Okay, so relax it in. We're gonna give just a little stretch here. So bend this knee in. The leg we've been standing on, we're just kind of pushing back into that hip just a little bit. So we can stretch that out. We have 2 more exercises. And then we'll move to the other side. So from here again, making sure that we've got that length. This time we're gonna take the leg over and we're gonna take the toe tapping it towards the front. So as we come down, again, an arc. Back, coming down, arc it up and back. Now, again, we're not trying to cross the midsection, we're just trying to get it straight out behind us. And keeping the arms long so we don't sink down into this, which is why it's so important to brace with the abs. We have 2 more to go. Okay, so the last part that we're going to do is a wide arc. So it's going to come from side to side. So we start right in the center with the leg extended behind us. We're going to tap behind towards our opposite shoulder. We're going to bring that up to the outside and we're just going to go back and forth. We're doing a set of 10 and we're done with this side. So again, set yourself up, brace that tummy, bring this leg back and begin. We're going to come down and across. That is 1. Coming through and over. You can also do this on your hands and knees if you're okay to be on the floor like that. It hurts just as bad, believe me. But if you're not comfortable going onto the floor on your hands and knees, this is a really great alternative. We have 5 more. Good. Here's 3. And 2, and our last one. Bring that back to center, and let's stand it back up. Kind of getting out of that position. Now, we're probably feeling like that is really tight right about now, and probably also on the outside of the hip, and that's normal, that's very natural. So we're gonna stretch it just a little bit from here, which we can do again sitting on a chair. So as we come into the center, we're going to bring that knee up, rotate the ankle around because this is going to do the work next, right? Come across from here, press that knee down just a little bit with your elbow. So that's going to get right into the outside of that hip that we just finished working. And then of course we have 2 legs, so we must do the other side. So we're going to come back around the other way and let's do the other leg. So again, we're going into sets of 10. Nice and strong from here. So make sure that you're on the other standing leg as we come into position from here. And we're going to start off by taking 1 foot forward. And again, our hands are directly underneath the shoulders and we're trying to keep them long. So we don't want to have this kind of stuff going on. Braced in the abs from here. We're going to sink down into that leg as we reach back from here. And we're going to drive and reach. Drive it in, reach it back. So we're trying to stay very stable and strong on that standing leg. And of course we want to breathe because that's kind of important too. We have 2 more. Here's 2. And our last one. We're going to bring this foot back in. Go ahead and stand back up and we're going to come back just a little bit. So from here, we want to make sure that we've got the feet directly underneath the hips. Again, brace and tight through the tummy. From here, we're going to take the front leg this time, and we're going to lift it straight. Let's actually, I think we push back with the heel first. So let's go with that next. We're going to drive the heel back and back to the front, pushing back. So kind of think a donkey kick, right? Straight behind us and back. Trying to also keep good long length through the neck. So we're actually working an awful lot of muscles here. Kind of have a tendency to focus on the rump because that's the one that usually hurts the worst. But we're also working a lot of muscles up through the back, working the stabilizers, and we're also working the abs in addition to keister. Let's go 1 more. Now from here, let's bring that back down from here. We're going to lift straight up. Coming back and down, and lift. To the middle, squeeze. So we also want to make sure that we squeeze and don't throw that leg up into the air. And again, we're still parallel to the floor. It looks a lot like I'm shifting way over because my shirt's hanging down. But we're trying very hard to stay stable in the center. Let's go one more time here. We're gonna hold this one up. We're gonna cross over and back to center. Cross and center. Here and up. Lift and lift. Let's go a couple more. Okay, so just like we did on the other side, we'll give that just a tiny break from here. So we're gonna bend that front knee, sit back into the hip on the other side. So you can come and just push back into that a little if you choose, but let that front knee bend up here and push out slightly sideways into the other leg. Okay, coming back to the center again from here. So this time as we come, we're gonna bring the leg to the front. So we're gonna arc it out towards the front. We'll start with this straight behind us. So we lift this up, we come down from here and lift and back. Coming over and back and over and back. So just kind of getting a nice feel for that. Working a lot of muscles through that hip. And we don't necessarily have to touch down, but if you can, that would be awesome. Just 4 more. Here's 2. And the last one. Okay, so bringing that back again. Just relax. We're going to do one more piece from here so we can, again, drop back a little bit. Here you can get just a nice long stretch on that back. If you need to stand up just to give it a break for a second, you can do that as well. We're going to finish strong with those 10 arcs. So we'll start in the center. We're going to arc behind all the way back over so they can make it a rainbow with your foot. Coming down again, one more time from here. Finding your position, and we're going to lift. We're going to cross it over and back. Now you can bend that knee a little bit. You do not want to have it locked on the standing leg. It's soft. You can bend it a little bit as you come through if you need to, or you can keep it nice and tall. We are halfway there. We have 4 to go. Here's 3. And 2. And hallelujah, our last one. Back to center. Bringing that through. Okay, so again, we're going to kind of get into this cheek just a hair, and then we're going to move our way down to the floor. So let's take this leg back up, and that might be painful right there, depending upon how tight you are through your hips. You can take this hand from here, and then if that's not enough of a stretch, lean forward just a bit. That should get into that area that we just worked, kind of loosen that up just a little bit. And we'll come back. So, as I mentioned, you can always do those exercises. Same thing from here, just standing up. You just won't have quite the same. You'll still be working the abs, you'll still be working the back. It's just a little bit less gravity in that particular position. Okay, so we're gonna work down to the floor. I'm going to move the computer so that you can see the action that we're gonna do on the floor. You're gonna need your dumbbells. A little bit heavier set if you've got them. And I think that'll be all. So I think this should work, so give me just a second. Had me in the way. All right, I think we should be able to see everything from there. And you can also keep your band as well. So for your weights, you're just gonna wanna need them or want to have them somewhere close so that you can use them as you wish. We're gonna come down to the floor any way that you want to get down here. So we're gonna start off face up. Let my hair out because my clip's gonna fall apart. Okay, so as we come from here, we'll grab our weights and keep them close by. we are going to roll down very gently from here. So bringing ourselves to the center, we've got the legs bent in this position. We are going to take a hold of the weight. And from here, we're going to start with just the chest press like we started off with before. So we're going to bring these down almost to the floor, but not quite. So we're going to hover just right above it. We're going into the center from here. Squeeze and press it back. So we don't want the arms to be clear up to our neck when we come down. We want them to be right about mid-chest. When we're extending, they should also end right about the mid-chest. We're going to do 2 more here. And we are going to hold to the center. So in this one, we're just going to change the hand position so that the hands are facing each other, and we're going to do a chest fly. So we're going to come out, and again, just hovering right above the ground. Squeeze that chest really tight at the top. Resist it as we come down, just like these are super, super heavy. Squeeze and resist. We're again doing 10, and this is number 3. You can also add pulses to this. You can speed it up a little if you like, but time under tension is what we're really looking for at this point, because we want to build that strength and the muscles, the endurance muscles here. So the longer we're in that position, the heavier this feels like it gets, the more muscles we're recruiting. And that's kind of the name of the game. I think we have 2 more. And our last one here. Okay, so you can keep both weights, or you can put one of those down and take the weight by the hex heads here and bring them into center. You also can do this with absolutely no weight. What we're gonna do is just an overhead pull. So we're again gonna brace nice and strong here. So pull that belly button in, just kind of like somebody's gonna step on you, so you want a little tension there. We wanna keep this belly from popping up, but we don't need to press the back into the floor. It's not necessary at all. So coming from here, arms stay long. We're going to bring this overhead without touching the floor. We're going to squeeze that back to center, coming all the way back up from here, and squeeze. So again, nice long arms. And we're going to finish right here. Now holding this up. Now we are going to take one leg, extend that leg up, and again stay long through the center. We're going to take that leg along for the right. So we're going to extend the leg out as far as you're comfortable with without touching the ground, and bring that back to center. Our goal is to not let the back pop up and not to squish it into the floor when we come back. We keep that nice neutral spine, so we want long length. But you can also do this with a bent knee. Let's go one more time. Okay, so relax that down. Now, if your arms are getting tired, if your back's getting tired, then you can also, of course, get rid of the weight. We're just gonna finish this off. We're gonna do the other leg. We're shooting for a set of 8. So coming overhead, back to center. Again, don't rock too far back. These do not need to touch at all, because we're trying to stay stable through the middle versus coming into the crunch. That's coming later. Good. We have one more time here. Okay, then we're going to bend that knee. We're going to put the weight off to the side, wherever we're comfortable with that at. Okay, we're almost there. We're going to start from here. Just move the weight so you can see. We're going to curl up just a little bit, but what we're going to do is we're going to take this arm. So if you're not comfortable doing it curled up, you can do it from here. This arm is going to reach out, and we're going to touch the toe. So we're staying on this side, and you may stay right here. You can also come up and lift those shoulders off the floor and just reach to the side. Again, we're trying to make sure we don't let the belly pooch up. And then we're going to come to the other side. So simply just switching sides. And we're trying not to come up, but to go directly sideways. And breathe with it, of course. 2 more. Okay, and then relax back down from here. The hands to the sides. We're gonna take this, you can slide either just towards your feet, or you can lift the legs up and we're gonna reach towards the feet. We're gonna bring the neck long. So tucking the chin slightly, we're gonna look up between the feet, we're gonna reach up and roll back. Squeeze it up and roll it back and lift. Now, if that is enough, stay with it right there. If you wanna go ahead and come up, we're actually gonna sit up and reach and come back down. We wanna try and keep the heels onto the floor as we come through here. Reach and lift, gently roll that back and down. Go up. So as we come back down, you'll notice we bring that roll down very nice and slowly as we come back to the ground as well. We have 2 more. Last one here. Okay, then we're gonna come over onto our side and we're gonna line ourselves up onto the back of the mat, or at least into a fairly nice straight line. We're gonna bend those knees from here. So this arm is gonna come out to the side, and our goal, we're gonna bring this arm in front of us and press it onto the floor. We're gonna push ourselves back up. So again, we're gonna do 10 of these. This arm is just kind of coming along for the ride. We're not looking to push into it. Normally, of course, we would, but we're trying to strengthen this arm for the moment. So as we come from here, we're gonna push up. Release that down, press it up, and coming back and down. Nice strong push. Lift and lift. Good. So again, this bottom arm is just kind of coming along for the ride. There's 4, 3, 2, and our last one. So we're gonna come to the other side. And on that, you can actually just turn it over, or you can come to the other end. It's totally up to you. I'm just coming this way so I can see. We're gonna bring the other arm out from here, bend those knees, let the hand down from here, and we're gonna push. Relaxing down, pressing up. This is our last exercise and we get to stretch. So we should have 4 left, 4 and 3, 2, and our last one. Okay, so rolling from here onto our back. If you still have your band, a towel, a strap, or nothing at all, that works as well too. We're gonna take this around the foot. So we're gonna go ahead and lift that up, bring this back in from here. Now you can extend this bottom leg if you prefer, you can keep it bent. We're gonna draw that leg in towards us. So keeping these elbows nice and wide. We're trying to keep this as straight as we can. Obviously, I'm very tight to the hamstrings, but we're gonna try and pull this in and keep a nice long extension from there. We're gonna hold on to this with the same hand, let the other hand come to the side, and we're gonna let this leg fall open as we look out at the fingertips on the other side. So you control exactly how high this leg goes, how deep and how close it goes to the floor, and how much of a stretch you want in that groin area. And then we are going to bring this back to center. I'm trying to move my weights. Back into the center from here. We're gonna switch hands. So this arm will stay down from here. We're gonna rotate across the body. Now you can always bend that knee. So we're opening up the chest, we're opening up the low back, down through the middle, in the thoracic spine as well. Letting this hip open up, seeing as how we gave him such a good workout before. And looking my direction. And let's come back to the center. So we're gonna cheat. We're just gonna switch by bringing the other foot inside and letting this foot come back and down. So once again, keeping the elbows wide, we'll draw this out, pulling this towards us. Nice big deep breaths through here. On an exhale, we're gonna bring this down to the side. And again, we're trying to keep this hip down and controlling exactly how far that goes, how high that goes up towards your shoulder, where exactly you want that stretch to be. We're coming back into the center. We're just gonna switch arms. We're gonna cross this over. Looking out over the opposite shoulder. And then we'll bring this back into the middle. So we can go ahead and let the foot out of the band. We're going to come back up, and if you're comfortable with it, we're gonna go onto the hands and knees. If you're not, you can go ahead and stand back up. What we're looking to do right here is the cat and the cow. So you can do this standing just by bending down. We've done that a couple of times with the bringing the hands onto the knees. From here, we want the arms directly underneath the shoulders, the knees directly underneath the hip. The work is all gonna be in the spine. So we don't want to be pushing down from here, but we're gonna go ahead and exhale. Bring this back up and really widen the shoulders. It's like a big hissing cat. Then we'll take a nice big inhale, and we'll bring that chin and the collarbones, the tailbone, all towards the ceiling. We'll exhale, bring this back and down, pull it up, relaxing down, and we're not rocking forward or back here either. We're just staying good and steady in the center. Let the work be just a massage for your spine. We have one more time like that. And then we're gonna come back up. Now, our goal here, if you can, is to try to stand up without using your hands. If you need to use your hands, by all means do. But if you can't, our goal here is just to be able to come back up and stand back up. It may not be that simple, maybe a little bit more difficult as we get into that. But if you can, that's a nice goal to have. We're just gonna bring this arm over and across. Hopefully we're all kind of in the same zone here. Bring this arm back up again. Coming back from here. And all the way back up. And again, let's just take an easy breath here, reaching up here. And we are done for today. So thank you so very much for joining me.